Hello out there, this is Cammie White, and you're listening to Rushdown Radio.
Not long ago, in a town much like yours, there was a young woman who was very happy. Until one day her heart broke so violently that her sorrow echoed through space and time. So our saga begins tonight, yet eons ago, just here, yet light years away. Long ago, a harmonious universe existed beyond ours, and 3 divine arcana watched over it. But one night, a cursed arcana intersected the astral highways, and along with her star-crossed allies, they stole all harmony and hid it in their vile hearts. Before the divine trio started to fade, they created a heroine from the shards of a broken heart and hoped that she would one day be strong enough to save their world.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, shit on it, vomit on it, eat it, give birth to it.
So Gaga pretty much gave me a good TLDR of how I feel about this game, and while I think it's probably one of the most innovative, creative, awesome, amazing games that's come out in the last 5 or 6 years. So Sayonara Wild Hearts is an indie game, and it's kind of hard to explain what genre I would think this in, because it taps into so many different genres that you play through the game. I think one of the biggest things about this game that I really enjoyed was the soundtrack. And the soundtrack is definitely an integral part of the game's experience. You really can't get the full scope of how this game is if you don't listen to the soundtrack while you're playing. And it's very important to listen to it while you play this. The soundtrack is it's like the lifeblood of the game itself. The game wouldn't be nearly as impactful if it didn't have such an incredible soundtrack. And I think they did a really good job with creating a soundtrack that was not only great to listen to in context of the game, but just great music in general. I found myself, when I found out it was on Spotify, I was like, oh god, I listened to this song. And I listened to this whole soundtrack maybe probably all day after I found out it was on Spotify. This was the day after the game came out. So it was that Friday. I was listening to the entire soundtrack over and over again because it was just so amazing and so incredible, and I just haven't heard a soundtrack for a video game that sounded like this probably ever, to be honest. So the soundtrack, so good, so amazing. And it just accompanies the gameplay so well. And the gameplay, it's just really one of those games where you have to just experience. It's definitely an experience. That's a good way to put it, because it's an arcade game where it has these old school type of arcade type setups, but it's kind of I would say a free runner, but not quite a free runner. It matches up so many different genres of games into one, and it has a really strong visual aesthetic too, which I did appreciate as well. It kind of reminds me of Nights into Dreams, if anyone's played that from way back when on Sega Saturn, or the re-release that came out on I think it was a re-release, or was it a update? I think it was a remake that was on the Wii. So it kind of has that feel of just super fast paced in your face, but you're collecting little objects the whole time, and there's rhythmic, and there's music that accompanies the stages and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed how the game progresses. It's very fast, but it's just kind of once you start, it just keeps on going, and it's just it doesn't even stop the whole time. It's just, the momentum is just really well done. I mean, I would if a Sonic game kind of captured this type of fast paced momentum, because it just really reaffirms just how powerful music is to a game. And games like Sonic, of course, definitely have memorable soundtracks most of the time. So having a game that mirrors that is just really incredible. Like I kind of felt like I was playing like Sonic games, well, the newer Sonic games, a lot of newer ones, even though they've been really polarizing to most people. The speed aspect, or just like the free runner aspect of them, are really exciting, I think, for me at least. And I think this game kind of captured that pretty well. And it's just playing it is exhilarating. Like I really felt like I was just like in this really weird synth pop world, and it's just like aesthetic. It's like pure aesthetics. Like it's just like it has its own thing going. I think the visuals are just they're so simple, but it's just so striking. Like I love the way the art direction for this game is just incredible. Like it's more than I expected. It's super colorful. Like it's really just out there with the color. It just like pops out at you, and it just goes back to the whole pop element of the album and the soundtrack, because it's a pop album, and they wanted to make sure the game reflected that, and they did a good job of making sure the music matched the game and how the game progresses and how every stage is set up and just how fluid everything is too. Like I just felt like the controls are really good. Like even though the controls are really simple, like you don't really use that many buttons. I think you use like the directional pad, maybe like 2 buttons at most, and that's about it. And you're pretty much just collecting things and fighting enemies in rhythmic, like I don't know, QTAs and stuff, and it's just so exhilarating. Like that's probably the best part I can come up with for this, because it's an amazing game. I think it's technically on its own, it's really impressive too, because while I was playing it, like I didn't see any dips, and like there were no frame dips. Like it was consistently 60 frames the whole time, like, which is hard because how fast this game is going and just how visually it is. And I don't know, however way they construct this game on a technical level, I think they did an incredible job. Like right now, this stage is kind of a QTE type thing, and it just comes in so well, and everything, the beat kind of follows each time you have to tap the button, so you kind of have a little cue of when to tap the button. It's just so well done. Like I was thoroughly impressed by playing. I'm like, this is technically a gorgeous game. It's visually gorgeous, and it just sounds gorgeous. It's just everything I could ever want for an indie game. And I mean, of course, it has its own references. It references a lot of old school like arcade games, like what is it? I can't think of the name of that. I can't think of the name of that game. But there's a lot of old games that that's reference. And of course, if you're watching this, you'll probably be able to point a lot of them out as you're watching these sequences. And these sequences are so cool. Like, just look at that. It's so amazing how it's just so fluid, and just like their mind to come up with this stuff is really great. And I just thoroughly enjoyed this game. I want to give a huge shout out to Queen Latifah, who does the narration for this game. I thought she did an incredible job narrating. Like, you don't find until the very end of the game that she's a narrator, and it's just a really nice surprise. Like, I was like, who is this black woman doing the narration? And she just has her voice, her texture, her voice, and her timbre, and like her cadence. It just makes the game even more satisfying, because she's just giving a really good like her voice just really it's so soothing, and it's just like it makes you want to know more about what's going on in this crazy weird like world that you're in. Oh yeah, right now you're seeing me get pwned by this boss fight, because I'm not always the greatest reaction time, so reacting to stuff really quickly does not always my strong suit. So yeah, I get pwned quite a bit. This game it's not easy either. It's very, very challenging, which I really liked, because I was expecting this to be like just this game that you just sit through, like, oh, okay, it's over, press this button, do this, boom. No, it does require some type of like, you have to play the game actually. I mean, yeah, it's great, it's beautiful, but yeah, this is still a video game, so you definitely have to pay attention to what's going on. It zips and zaps and just like changes and transitions so quickly. Like you have to really pay attention a lot of the time in this game. I like that this game is not only pretty, but it's also challenging too. So for me, I think this is definitely a game that is a good contender for Game of the Year. If not, maybe at least Indie Game of the Year. I can't think of an indie game that came out this year that looks as impressive as this game is. Like, this is just such a crowning achievement in video games. It's such a different like experience that I've played probably in any other game I've played in a long time. So yeah, Sayonara Wild Hearts, incredible game, awesome, amazing, stellar, impressive, life-changing. Like I really felt really different after I played this game, honestly. And yeah, I think this is one of those once in a lifetime type games, and I hope that they get all the accolades that they deserve. I hope that it gets, like, if nothing else, it gets like art direction awards and music awards for this, because it deserves it. I honestly think that this game of the year, I would not be mad, because this definitely deserves it. It needs to be a contender in that category. So yeah, what do you guys think of Sayonara Wild Heart? You think it's a great game? You think it's cool? Have you even heard of this game? You think it's worthy of being game of the year? Let me know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next video.
Hello out there, this is Cami White, and you're listening to Rushdown Radio.